Alright, what is up YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys with my next deck profile, and we'll be looking at Simorgh. This variation of Simorgh is going to take a lot of inspiration from the OCG, primarily due to the combination that two particular cards are going to be having thanks to one particular link monster. And I also wanted to give it a lot of its own aspirations, especially when it comes to control, because Simorgh has a good variation of control under its belt. Now, without further ado, you guys, let's actually take a look at the list itself. We're going to start off with my monsters. I'm covering 3 copies of Simorgh, Bird of Beginnings, 3 copies of Simorgh, Bird of Bringings, 3 copies of Barrier Statue of the Stormwind, 2 copies of Simorgh, Bird of Calamity, 2 copies of Miss Valley Thunderbird, 2 copies of Miss Valley Apex Avian, 2 copies of Dark Simorgh, and 2 copies of Simorgh of Darkness. For the spell cards, I'm running a full set of Pot of Extravagance, 2 copies of Simorgh's Onslaught, 2 copies of Simorgh's Repulsion, 3 copies of Ibores, the Sacred Lance of Simorgh, 1 copy of Terraforming, and 2 copies of Monarch Storm Forth. For the trap cards, I'm running 3 copies of Harpie's Featherstorm, 3 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance, and 2 copies of Icarus Attack. For the extra deck, I'm running 3 copies of Simorgh, Bird of Kings, 3 copies of Harpie Conductor, 3 copies of Winnie the Wind Charmer Verdict, 3 copies of Great Fly, and 3 copies of Union Carrier. So the whole ordeal of this deck, and one of the variations of it, is that it focuses on a lot of its lockdown components. You have Dark Simorgh, who, while it sits on the field, your opponent can't set any cards. In combination, of course, with the Anti-Spell Fragrance, you're locking your opponent out of their spells, their traps, and the only thing they have to really rely on are monsters. And most monsters you're probably going to have and taken advantage of because you can easily drop cards like Harpie's Featherstorm to deal with them. To also lock them out, you have Barrier Statue of Stormwind. This monster's ability forces both players to successfully summon nothing but wind monsters. So while you have this giant bird on the field, or you have this little birdie on the field, you're pretty much locking your opponent out of anything that isn't wind. And most decks in the game right now don't run wind. It's a very weird strategy to this, but when you combine it with the ability of Simorgh, Bird of Kings, you can easily get it out, and you can easily take advantage of a lot of the Simorgh monsters themselves. Now, the crazy thing about the deck overall is its combination with Miss Valley Apex Avian. This is not the only time we'll see this bird, because a lot of variations of Pendulum decks run Miss Valley Apex Avian. And the big thing about it is that once per chain, you're able to target a Miss Valley card you control, return that card to your hand, and even if you do, you negate the activation and destroy that card. In combination, you'll combine it with Thunderbird. Thunderbird's ability is that whenever it's face up on the field and it's returned to the hand, you can special summon it. So it gives this combination between itself and Apex Avian a lot more oomph. Not to mention, if you can drop 2 big birds of Apex Avians on the board with a Thunderbird, you're easily going to have that ability to negate. Now, here's the crazy thing about it. We look at Union Carrier. Now, this is a monster that really does spark the combinations here, because when Union Carrier is on the field, you can target a monster, you can target one face-up monster you control, then equip a monster with the same original type or original attribute as that targeted monster from your hand or deck as an equipped spell, making it gain an attack. But if you equip the card from deck, you can also summon monsters. You can also summon monsters who don't share the same original name as the monster that you target. So the crazy thing about this is that once you drop this carrier, you want to target any of your winged beasts, primarily Miss Valley Apex Avian. And then you drop the Thunderbird because they're the same attribute. And then you have a way of negating by returning the Thunderbird back to hand, and then being able to special summon it on your following turn. Kind of like an in-turn type of situation, or something you try to go into first turn. You also have negate of Simorgh of Darkness, who contributing winged beast monster on your side of the field, and then to negate the activation of spell, trap, or monster effect, which is great because with a lot of things that you want to stop in terms of getting your combos going, this bird has that going for itself. Not to mention, it can special summon itself from the hand or graveyard when a winged beast or dark, when a wind or dark attributed monster is tribute summoned to the field. Now, if that's not your key, of course, we do have the monsters to help you get into this monster. You have Simorgh, Bird of Calamity, which when normal summon sends any Simorgh card to the graveyard. You have Simorgh, Bird of Bringings, that allows you to search for a Simorgh card and add it to your hand when it's normal summon. And it's Simorgh, Bird of Beginnings, who gives you an immediate normal summon of a Simorgh monster in addition to your normal summon or set. So with these birds, you have that combination of getting a lot of the things going onto the board itself. The crazy thing about Simorgh is that these low-level winged beasts have the ability to summon themselves while your opponent controls no back row. So you do get a lot of that presence there with a lot of the support that they have. Speaking of support, let's go into the spells. We do have Simorgh's Repulsion, which is a one-sided giant true name. You discard a winged beast, return all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. Back all cards in your opponent's solo trap card zone back to their hand. You can banish this card to reveal a winged beast, and then you can reduce the level of all monsters in the hand with the same name as the winged beast that you revealed. So it helps you get out birds like Simorgh or Avian a little faster. Then on top of that, let's look at the next spell, and that's Simorgh's Onslaught, where you discard a winged beast to add two winged beasts to Simorgh monsters with different names. And then you have the same ability as Repulsion, where you can banish it to reduce the level by revealing winged beast and then reducing the level of all winged beasts in the hand with the same name, level by 1. It's a great way to just keep the flow itself going. Now, the reason why I'm not running triples of these is primarily because most of this deck does have a way of getting a lot of its monsters together and then putting a lot of stuff onto the board. Now, if we're going to start looking at putting stuff on the board, we gotta look at the field spells. The Sacred Lands of Simorgh, Eboris. So a buff to all wind monsters on the field by 300. And then the ability to reveal a level 5 or higher winged beast monster, get additional normal summon of a winged beast with one less tribute, even if the card leaves the field. That way, you can reveal someone like Avian, but you can summon Simorgh of Darkness without having the hassle of tributing so much to summon it. Then in addition to that, immediately after you use this card's effect, or activate this card, you can get an additional normal summon of a winged beast monster, a wind winged beast monster that for the turn, but you have to control the wind winged beast as well. It's a like I said, this archetype's now transitioning into focusing on tribute summons, getting a lot of those tributes out there. Then on top of that, you have access to Monarch Stormforce, tributing one of your opponent's monsters to summon a monster from your hand. So if you combine this with Eboris' effect, or you use Repulsion or Onslaught's additional effects, you can really just take one of your opponent's monsters in and have your way with it and summon a winged beast with one of your higher winged beasts back to the board. We have Extravagance, which is a bit of a wild card, but for the way this deck is set up for its extra deck, you're really not going to lose anything out of it because you're running multiple copies of the 5 monsters in the extra deck. You're just doing this for additional draw power. You can also drop in trade in if you want to, but do be careful. Extravagance does have its added effect, where if you use this card, you can't draw outside any more cards with card effects, so do be careful of that. But it's nice to have at least a +2 off of this card. And then you have the trap card. You have Terraforming, just to help you get to Eboris if you haven't already gotten into it. As far as the trap cards go, Harpie's Feather Storm. Harpie's being an easy ally to Simorgh. The Feather Storm allows you to negate your opponent's monster effects, the activation of your monster effects until the end of the turn. And this is a great way to keep a lot of them at bay when you want to, continue on a lot of your combos. Because cards like Ash Blossom, Joyous Springs, Ghost Ogre, stuff like that, they're really going to get in your way. So Feather Storm is just an additional card to help you deal with that. Like I said, with Anti-Spell Fragrance, you get another lockdown between this and Dark Simorgh and Icarus Attack. A great way to clear out the board for monsters who don't have any immunities, and a great way to disrupt some combo plays. Now, as far as the extra deck goes, we have Simorgh, the Bird of Kings. Any card that this card link markers point to, those winged beasts cannot be targeted by a card effect. Then on top of that, you have the ability to summon a winged beast monster from your deck. Depending on the number of spell and trap card zones available on the field. So if, say for instance, you repulse, that's at least 5 spaces right there off your opponent, and then whatever amount you have there. This way you can easily get the cards like Barrier Statue on a Stormwind and have it sit on the board where your opponent can't really touch a lot of their extra decks because they don't have wind. You can go get a big bird like Avian or Simorgh of Darkness or Dark Simorgh and really play out a lot of your advantages. There is really no downside to this monster. It's just a very big, hefty bird. I wish it had a little more attack points to it, just so that it really could be the king of birds. Then we have Harpie Conductor. Now, she's really mainly in here because this deck is full of wind monsters. She has the ability to target another spell or trap card you control and destroy it. That way she herself doesn't get destroyed. And you can combine this with Harpie's Featherstorm because she is a Harpie and you can drop it from your hand. Winnie is pretty much for a search. There really isn't much I could have thought of outside of Winnie. If you don't want to run Winnie, you can easily just drop her for Barrel Sword, Barrel Load. If you wanted to add a lot of your higher rank Link 4 monsters into the deck, just be wary of Pot of Extravagance because that will have a random chance of banishing them as well. Great Fly for additional 500 attack and defense because most of your deck will be wind while it's on the field. And then, of course, the combination of Union Carrier. This is pretty much just to help you drop that Thunderbird so your Avian can have its ability to really just deal with a lot of card effects that it's going to be negating as well. And the crazy thing was they completely changed the rule for Union Carrier, Avian, and Thunderbird. So it doesn't matter what card Avian returns as long as the card itself is a Miss Valley card, i.e. Thunderbird. And because Thunderbird is on the field and is being returned due to the effects of a Miss Valley card, you're going to be able to activate its effect and special summon it. So that is pretty much it, you guys, for this deck profile. I mean, there are a lot of variations that if you want to try, you can. That's also why I had a lot of other cards down there, like Spectre Border and Rise of the Mega Monarch, just in case you wanted to go for a little more of a stun or beatdown as variation of it. And you can also splash in cards like Trading if that is something you feel a lot more accustomed to. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, you guys, and I will catch you all next time. HCJ, signing out. Take care.